For those of you that don't understand how truly awful the U.S. has become, I'm going to put it into perspective for you. I saw my aunt yesterday, and she told me a story that absolutely blew my mind. And it's really hard to tell me a story about the evil that America is right now that surprises me. But this surprised me. It's on another level. So my aunt is a realtor, and she had a client in the past that she sold a second farm to. He is a farmer, and he raises cattle, making an honest living, and so his original farm wasn't big enough for all of his cattle, so he had to get a second farm. And then his wife got pregnant, and then a medical emergency happened. So basically, the baby was born extremely prematurely, and the wife almost died, but that's a separate issue. And so I want you to guess. I want you to formulate a number in your head about how much you think it cost for that baby to be in the hospital for 4 months because it was a premature baby. Take a minute, think about it. $900,000. Almost $1,000,000. What small business owner, farmer has $1,000,000. So now he has to sell his second farm. He has to sell some of those cattle. And for what? So his baby could survive America, right? So pro-life, huh?
Can't live like this anymore. Nobody cares about you unless you're dead or dying.
When I was 21, I sustained a back injury that left me paralyzed with pain. The slightest movement would send excruciating pain down my back, through my buttocks, and all the way down to my leg. I wasn't able to put any weight on this leg. I literally had to be carried from my bed to the toilet, and I needed assistance in the toilet at the age of 21. And of course, like most Americans, I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I couldn't afford proper medical care. I went to the local family doctor, and he did an x-ray, and he's like, "Oh, well, you're young and healthy. This is probably just an inflamed muscle. You'll be all right in a few days." Fast forward 6 months, I'm still in this excruciating pain, unable to walk. My entire life shut down. I quit my job because I couldn't work. I dropped out of college because I couldn't attend classes, and I was isolated from all my friends because I literally couldn't go out. When we eventually realized that this was a serious medical condition that wasn't going to go away with rest, we collected money to pay for steroid injections to reduce the inflammation on my buttocks, where I felt most of the pain. And these injections were $500 a piece, and I needed 3 injections. Now I can walk, but I'm limping because I still have pain. So we decided to do physical therapy. Went to a physical therapist and found out that it was going to be $100 a session out of pocket. I was like, there's no fucking way I can afford this. She recommended me to go to a chiropractor, which was $25 a session. I was like, fine, we can afford this. I saw this man for an entire year. For an entire year, he kept doing these stretches on me, kept fixing my back, and every other week, I would still be limping into his office. It took him a year to be like, hey, you know what? I can't fix you. You need to go see a surgeon. You need to see an orthopedic surgeon to find out what's going on. I think you might have a serious back condition. I go to an orthopedic surgeon. He tells me I need an MRI. I tell him, hey, I don't have insurance. How much is this going to cost me? He's like, oh, $1,200. I'm like, hey, I can't afford that. Can I go get an MRI from somewhere else? Can you write me a note? I'll go get an MRI and I'll bring it to you. He writes me a note. I pay $600 out of pocket to get an MRI. And finally, it's been 2 years at this point. 2 years after my injury, we finally find out that I have a herniated disc, which is putting pressure on my nerves. It's putting pressure on my spine, which is causing inflammation in my spine and causing inflammation through all the muscles throughout that nerve that runs down my right leg. So the surgeon tells me the only way to correct this problem is that I need to get a surgery done, which is called a microdiscectomy. Basically, they shave off a portion of the disc, which is putting pressure on my spinal cord. And this surgery costs close to $35,000 out of pocket. I tell him, hey, I don't have this money. What can I do? And he's like, well, you need to get insurance. And this is before Obamacare. So my only option was to get a job and work with excruciating back pain. And I'm like 23 at this time, almost 24. And the only jobs I can get without any work history or without a degree from a university is retail jobs. So I spent the next 6 months of my life standing, folding fucking clothes at Express and JCPenney so that I could get insurance, so that I could pay for my surgery. Whilst I'm waiting to collect the money to afford my surgery, my doctor is prescribing me powerful painkillers. I'm talking Vicodin, Oxycodone, Valium to help with my pain. These are highly addictive medications. They're made from heroin, basically, the same poppy plant. He was prescribing them to me like handy. I would run out, he wouldn't ask another question, I would go in for my weekly or monthly visit, he would just write me another prescription. He's prescribing a child Vicodin. And of course, I got addicted. I got addicted to these pills. I found myself popping these pills in moments where I didn't have the pain. I just took it because I had the fucking craving for it like a cigarette. When I finally, first of all, become eligible for my health insurance, because it doesn't kick in right away, after months of working and collecting money, not spending money on anything else, just literally just saving money for my surgery, I gather the $6,000 surgery copay that I need to get this surgery done. I get my surgery scheduled and I go to my boss and I tell her, hey, I need a month off of work because I'm getting a major back surgery done. She tells me the best I can do is 7 days, which is 5 days that I normally am scheduled to work, plus the 2 additional days off the week that I get. So the best she can do is 1 week. And I shit you not, 1 week after my surgery, I'm working at JCPenney and I'm bleeding through my shirt because I'm not supposed to be on my feet. I'm bleeding through my shirt and my manager goes, hey, there's some blood on your shirt, go take care of that. And by this time I'm 24 years old and I get my surgery done, and through that, thankfully, I regained my mobility, but the pain has never gone away. I still, to this very day, I'm 36 years old, I have pain every single day. Every single day of my life for the past 15 years has been in pain. Fast forward 3 years, obviously I quit that job and I have a new job as a graphic designer for a much bigger company, and my injury is flaring up. I'm having trouble sitting at my desk, so I need to take some time off work. I wanted to apply for short-term disability. I went back to that surgeon, right? And I brought the form with me that my company was 100% okay with this. They're like, yeah, we can see you're hurting. Go get this form signed by your surgeon. I take this form to my surgeon and he looks at me and he's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you're still having pain. We did the surgery. You should be completely fine. You're young. You're skinny. There's no way you're having this pain. And I was literally speechless. I was like, listen, my company has already approved this. All I need is for you to fill out this paperwork that says I have a serious medical condition. I don't need anything else from you. As soon as he gave me the paper with his signature, I stormed to the front office and I told them to give me every single medical record they have of me, and I never fucking want to see this doctor ever again in my life. I've spent half my fucking life in pain. You don't know what that does to a person. Like, I want to go out, I want to explore the fucking world. I want to see everything that there is to offer, and some days I wake up, I can't fucking walk. And why do I have to live my life like this? It's the worst feeling to try to explain to somebody how much pain you're in and they completely fucking dismiss you. 15 years, bro, you don't know what that's like. I was a child. I was a baby. My entire life has been ruined because I fucking had the misfortune of being in this fucking country that doesn't give a shit about its fucking citizens. Even as I'm sitting in my car right now talking to you guys, I'm in pain. And I've accepted I'm never going to wake up and jump out of bed and be totally okay and be ready to seize the day and be excited for what the day brings, because I'm always going to have this pain. If we had universal health care like most developed nations of this world, I would not have to live my life like this. From the moment I experienced the first sting of pain, I could have gone straight to the doctor and be like, hey, there's something wrong. We could have done the tests. We could have done all of the tests that I needed. If I had the proper care when I first sustained this injury, I would have never needed surgery. I would have gone straight into physical therapy. They would have helped me manage my pain, and I would never ever be in this position. My entire life was ruined at the age of 21 because of the fucking healthcare system in this country, and my story is not unique. I'm not unique. This happens to millions of people every fucking day, every year, and our masters don't give a fuck. The healthcare system in this country is made for profit. It is not about caring about the health of the citizens. It's about squeezing every drop of money, every dime that a person has.
Have you checked on your American friends lately? Because we're not okay. The past 10 days has felt like a year. For so many of us right now, we cannot keep up with all of these horrific executive orders coming down hour after hour, day after day in the first 10 days. Add to that the first commercial plane crash in over a dozen years, claiming the lives of everyone involved. It is genuinely looking bleak over here for a lot of us. We are doing our best not to have our spirits crushed. And as somebody who works in mental health, I can tell you this feels like COVID all over again. It is my job to help other people day in and day out. And I'm struggling. And I know I am not the only one in this position. Healthcare providers in this country are struggling. I know we have so many allies all over the world, and we appreciate it so immensely. And there are so many things that I wish we could take a page from you right now, because in this country, we are going sideways so fast, and many of us do not know what to do to stop it. Thank you for listening. I needed to get that off my chest. Please go ahead and follow me on my other platforms in case this ever gets banned again in America. Go figure.
So this video, you can see people giving out their testimony on how the health insurance literally messed them up in terms of their personal lives, in terms of, having debt. Like, for example, the video where you're seeing this family, this farmer that was told that they have to pay $900,000 so that they're able, for their kid to go home after being born premature, after they stay 4 months in the hospital. That's one case scenario of how messed up American insurance is. The other scenario where this guy who has literally been suffering for the last 15 years, this excruciating pain, and somehow is having difficulty to adjust to normal life because of that pain. He's been affected in terms of going to school. He wasn't able to go to university because of the pain he experienced. He wasn't able to, he became addicted because of the drugs that he was prescribed just to dull down the pain, and literally his life changed as a result of that, and all that thanks to the American health insurance system. In America, if you do not have a job, and if you come from a middle lower class or lower class, and if you don't have a job, and in case just one day you end up falling sick, you will literally barely be able to afford going to the hospital. You can literally get one bill that can wipe out your savings and make you homeless. And that is the reality of American health insurance. The American health insurance is basically operating for profit. It's basically operating to profit organization, to profit corporation, to profit hospital, and not the people. People are literally being squeezed dry for every drop to make profit out of your sickness. And that is the reality of American health insurance. Will things change? Only time will tell. Only if policies are changed. The introduction of Obamacare, they tried to come up with those policies where they can help the citizen, but unfortunately there was so much politics about the Obamacare, and as a result it was literally stripped down to barely survival mode. And right now Obamacare exists but barely helping the people as the way it was originally meant to, because they have stripped up everything about Obamacare, and what is remaining is like the skeleton of Obamacare that was meant originally to help the citizen of America to be able to afford healthcare, so that they can be able to go to the hospital, take care of themselves and their family by having insurance, health insurance, that will be able to take care both the middle class, the upper class, and of course the lower class people of America. So will there come a day when the health insurance in America will serve the people? Only time will tell. Only when the politicians decide to come together and come up with policies that are going to serve the American citizen, the American common person who depend on their 9-to-5 job, who depend on their paycheck to paycheck for survival. Only then will the health insurance change. But in the meantime, what people need to come up is just come up with ways where they can be able to afford this health insurance. Make sure that you have enough savings. Make sure you have several sources of income, just in case of that rainy day comes through, you're able to cushion yourself and your family. And that is the reality. Will things change? Only time will tell, and only when the politicians decide to come up with policies that will serve the citizen and come up with health insurance policies that will serve the American citizen for the better. All right, let me know what you think and please drop your comments.